Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Joliet, Illinois, the Chicagoland Speedway. Since opening for business in 2001, Chicagoland has established a rich history in the first decade of operation, particularly in the IndyCar competition. In a series renowned for its photo finishes, the IndyCar series has produced the two closest finishes in series history at Chicagoland, with Sam Hornish Jr. beating Al Unser Jr. by 24 thousandths of a second in 2002, and Helio Castroneves piping Scott Dixon by 33 hundredths of a second in 2008's season finale. Of course, neither Dario Franchitti nor Scott Dixon will forget the 2007 contest that saw the Scotsman win the race in the IndyCar Series title when Dixie ran out of fuel half a lap from the finish. Chicagoland is no less competitive when the race cars sport fenders. In fact, Kyle Busch is the only driver to win a Cup Series race at Chicagoland from the pole, and only one other driver, Kevin Harvick, has qualified in the top 10 and won. Harvick also has the distinction of coming from the deepest in the field, 32nd, to win at Chicagoland, while Dale Earnhardt Jr., 25th, Tony Stewart, 19th, also emerged victorious after starting deep in the pack. Tonight, who will take the checkered flag and claim victory at Chicagoland? It's the SCAR ARCA series. We're going to find out next on HBR TV. Once again, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us here at Chicagoland Speedway. Practice just about done here. A couple minutes left in the session. Neil Quick, top of the board. Cars a bit of a handful off corner number 2 here as Carson Conway does lose it off into the grass. Guys are working on a bit of a pit party right now, it looks like. We're going to step aside just before we get into the qualifying session here and get a word from the Hateful Chicken. We'll be back after this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Joliet, Illinois. Windy City 150. Practice is in the books, qualifying just about underway here. First to the track, it is the 89 of Brian Rose. Brian takes the green flag on lap number 1 of his qualifying attempt. They get 2 laps here in the session. Brian Rose off turn number 4 in the dog leg, crosses the line, lap 1 complete. The 31.264 for the 89 of Brian Rose. Let's see if he can pick it up on lap 2. Meanwhile, Vince Short rolls down to 30.94. Cody Harger, he's third quick on his first lap. Justin Napier a couple of seconds off the pace. First lap, a throwaway for the 54. Right now, HBR top of the board, first and second. Vincent Short up top. Brian Rose is second. Any quicker for the 89? Lap 2 in the books. It is a 30.88, puts Brian Rose on the provisional pole. Vincent Short, though, he bests that time as well. A 30.82 puts him back on the top spot. Cody Harger now knocks the 15 machine off the top spot. The 66 goes to the top of the board. A 37.87 for Cody Harger. Good time. Neil Quick out there, his first lap, a 31.634. Again, the first lap kind of a throwaway. Seems to be second lap is quicker. He's getting ready to cross the line here down on the apron. Shortens up the racetrack. Puts it fourth, a 30.901 for Neil Quick. Carson Conway rolling out. Start his qualifying attempt. Carson Conway, lap 1 underway. It is the 66 of Cody Harger with the pole position. Starting on the outside is Vincent Short, the number 15 with Holler Boys Racing. Starting third, it is Brian Rose, the number 89 machine with Holler Boys Racing as well. Neil Quick with Quick Esports will start fourth. Colt Ansley with Outcast Racing will start fifth. To his outside, it is the 54, the Hateful Chicken entry. of Justin Napier. Alan DeFries will start from the 7th position, the number 71, with Carson Conway, the number 72, though it does say 82. He is running the 72. He will start 8th. David Bradford did not take a time. He starts 9th, as Mark Truxell is to the outside. He will start 10th. Cecil Rose, newcomer to the series, will start in the 11th position. And as of now, Jeff Napier in the 40, starting shotgun on the field, as he is running a little bit late here this evening. Not sure if he's made it into this session officially as of yet. Gonna have to wait and see how that pans out. Either way, that is your starting grid for the Windy City 150. All right, so what's the word? Cody, what's the time frame? All right, 10-4. Yeah. Sorry, what? Into TV? What are you talking about? Yeah. Let me see how I fucking do that here. Hang on. Invite. Diesel. I'll see if I can figure it out, Brian. You might be able to share it too, because you're an admin, I think, but let me fuck with it. Just checking in, ladies and gentlemen, still waiting on one more driver to make it to the starting grid, roughly 5 minutes or less. We're going to jump back into break here. We will come back. You won't miss any racing action from Chicagoland. Won't be long, maybe 4 or 5 minutes, and we will be up and running. So stay with us. We'll be back after this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Joliet, Illinois, the virtual Joliet, Illinois, Chicagoland Speedway for tonight's SCAR ARCA Series Windy City 150. We're going to go over our starting grid here once again. A little bit of a delay to get going in the action here this evening, but on the pole, it is the 66 of Cody Harger with Charger Racing. To his outside, it is the number 15 of Vincent Short with Holler Boys Racing. Row number 2, it is also a Holler Boys Racing entry, the number 89 of Brian Rose. To his outside, it is the 2 of Neil Quick with Quick Esports. Starting in row number 3, it's the 86 of Colt Ansley with Outcast Racing, flanked by the 54, that Hateful Chicken entry, Justin Napier, will start 6th. Alan DeFries in the number 71 will start from the 7th position with Carson Conway starting in the 8th spot. Starting 9th, it is the 46 of David Bradford, also of Holler Boys Racing. David did not take a time in qualifying. Mark Truxell, same thing. He'll start 10th. Cecil Rose, a newcomer in the series here. Yeah, that's Brian's dad, running in the number 88 in the 11th spot. And starting last but not least, it is Jeff Napier, shotgun on the field for tonight's Windy City 150. That is your starting grid. We will be underway here in just a moment or two. Looks like the last driver we were waiting on has made it to the starting grid, and we will be on our rolling pace lap here right about now. I believe it's starting. Yep, pace car starting to roll. So is the rest of the field. Cody Harger out front, Again, on the pole position is Cody Harger, running a different paint scheme than we're used to seeing. Typically, it's that Plasmine Technologies livery that we're used to seeing. This is a scheme that Cody actually runs in a different league, the OG Racing League, and just must have forgot to switch that one over, but no big deal. Same guy at the wheel, just different colors on that Impala SS. It's also usually a Toyota Camry, so it's like Cody's going to have some splaining to do. One formation lap before we go to green. They're into turns 3 and 4 right now. Lights are off on top of the pace car. We will get the green flag this time by unless something changes. That is the plan. Pace car peels off the banking, waiting on the green flag. Green flag waves, field in the gas. We're underway here from Chicagoland Speedway. The Windy City 150 is green. Cody Harger with a slight advantage at the initial start, down into turn number 1, the low lane. Up top is the 15 of Vincent Short. Really a good start for first and second off turn number 2. Vince a little bit loose, but carries some serious momentum on the high side. Going to battle for the lead going to turn 3 on lap 1. We're not even up to temperature yet, and he's trying to fight for that top spot. Vince has a strong car here this evening. Side by side, still off turn number 4. Cody takes the apron at the line. Not sure who's going to lead that one. It might have actually been Vincent Short officially leading lap 1. Still, they battle into turns 1 and 2. Once again, Harger, the 66 down low, the 15 of Short up top. Off corner number 2 down the back stretch. I can't even call it a straight, but it is a stretch. You see, it's got a curve to it. There's really no point that these guys are straight wheeled, but Vincent Short takes over the lead. They work through 3 and 4. Cody may have lost the lead initially at the start, but Vincent Short has taken it over. Cody certainly not giving up so much ground. In fact, gaining ground on the 15 of Vincent Short to work lap number 4. Ooh, Vincent Short in the wall off turn number 2. Gathers it up, but relinquishes the lead. Cody Harger back to the top spot. Vincent Short with a mistake off corner number 2 on lap 4. Pushing just a bit too hard too early. Doesn't appear to be too damaged on the right side, but unfortunately it certainly did cost him the top spot. Moved the 15 back to second. Still quite a distance back to the third running machine, Justin Napier. Justin's actually up 3 spots already on the afternoon. Started 6th into the top 3 at this point, 5 laps in. Top 3 relatively stretched out. Brian Rose is down a spot. He is running in the 4th position, and David Bradford just to his back bumper or close to it, as well as a few others. Mark Truxell, Neil Quick, Colt Ansley in that group in behind the 89 of Brian Rose. $100-lap event here tonight. No stage breaks, no halfway caution, just straight up 150 miles here from Chicagoland Speedway. And have to make the tires last around this place. You chew them up too early, get them burned up, get them too hot, you're going to have a long night ahead of you. A little bit of a battle going on here. Mark Truxell splits the uprights. The 54 loses a couple of spots. Mark Truxell up top, the number 5. Taking the position away from Brian Rose, move Mark Truxell to position number 3. He passed a whole bunch of guys in that set of corners. Good move for Mark Truxell. These guys behind him, though, may just be saving some tires at this point. Then again, maybe not. David Bradford, a master at saving the rubber on those tires, and he's slowly but surely working his way towards the front. Again, David did not qualify here this evening. Decided not to take a lap, start near the rear, work your way to the front. Again, it's a long race, 100 laps around here. It's going to take some time to click all that off. We're going to have a pit stop, but not a real heavy field. We've got 12 cars in the race here tonight, so not a real high probability of caution flags. These guys are going to get spread out just based on their pace alone. David can work his way through that. Again, this really plays to the hand of guys like David Bradford, Cody Harger, Mark Truxell. I say Mark Truxell. I wouldn't say he's necessarily known for saving tires and making that car last to the end, but he's also known for keeping the nose clean. He doesn't overdrive it. More often than not, you don't see the 5 being very aggressive. He will wait until the opportunity comes to him, and many times it does. So keep an eye on the 5. He's up 7 positions since the drop of the green flag. That's only 11 laps as we start lap 11. Sorry, lap 10. Does have some pressure from Colt Ansley, the 86. Mark will probably just let him go here if Colt is quicker. No sense in burning up tires this early. Still manages to stay out in front of the 86 of Colt Ansley. Let's ride on board with the 86 as he tries to get on by Mark Truxell for the 3rd position. And Colt's not too shabby in the strategy department either. He may have realized that he's got to put a little bit too much into it to get around the 5, at least right now. It's not worth burning up the tires this early on in the run. Just settle into a rhythm, get in behind the 5 and ride it out, see what happens. Again, Mark is up 7 positions since the drop of the green flag. How much did he use up of his tires in doing so? Colt definitely quick off turn 4. Has a good run on the 5 up top. Cars have switched lanes here. Mark Truxell now down low. Colt Ansley up high. Through this battle, they are gaining on the 15 of Vincent Short, the 2nd place machine. Again, Vince took over the top spot relatively quickly early on from Cody Harger. Cody sat on the pole here tonight. Vincent had an issue, though. I think it was the end of lap 4, got into the turn 2 wall, was able to save it, but running 2nd he is at this point. Certainly backed off his pace a bit. Meanwhile, you see the 86 of Colt Ansley now up to the 3rd spot, has passed Mark Truxell, did it patiently. Didn't chew up those tires, but now he's working on Vincent Short. And Colt Ansley's in the wall just a bit on entry. Not sure if that was just a miscalculation. He wasn't too close to the 15 where he had to dive out of the way, but yeah, definitely a little bit of right side damage on the 86 Rick Motec Chevrolet. He battles for the 2nd spot here at Chicagoland. Colt Ansley off turn number 2, a little bit of a wiggle, but still stays out in front of the 15 of Vincent Short. Vincent Short now with some company of his own, the 5 of Mark Truxell closing in. All that really happened while 15 of Short and Ansley did battle for that second position. It allowed Mark Truxell to slowly gain some ground. Now Mark trying to put pressure on Vince to take over the third position. Got a good group here in the Facebook stream tonight. 10 of you watching. We've got 3 over in the YouTube side. Any newcomers that want to say hello, please feel free to do so. If you're just bored and watching the race, thanks for checking in on the stream. Please hang out as long as you'd like. We're real open to conversation here in the stream chat. I'll get to you when I can. I don't always see it right away, but it's more than welcome. Cheer on your favorite driver. Say hello, whatever you want to do. Just keep it relatively close to PG-13. Even if you're angry, we're cool with that. Lap 19, though, the Windy City 150. We're watching this battle here with Mark Truxell and Vincent Short. Vincent Short with a third position. Mark Truxell wants it back, was running real strong, was up 7 positions. Now it's 6 positions. Hasn't lost too much ground here. Maybe by design, backed it off, saved some tires. Again, real important here at Chicagoland with these, I guess you could call them cookie cutter 1.5-mile ovals. They got to save the tires here. There's no planned stage breaks, no cautions that are planned, nothing like that to give us an opportunity to get tires. This league is usually pretty clean as far as incidents are concerned, so you can't rely on someone to wreck and bring out that yellow flag. Gonna have to get tires when it's time to get fuel. Mark Truxell takes back the third position. Vincent Short relinquishes it back to the 4th position now. Vince has lost 2 spots since the drop of the green flag, but back out front we still have Cody Harger, a 2-second advantage over the 86 of Colt Ansley. And see the gap here at the speed shot into turn 1. There's the 66 and there's the 86. Not sure if Colt got into the fence there. He was awful high in the middle of the corner of 3 and 4. Mark Truxell has started to close that gap once again. We may see a battle between the 5 and the 86 relatively soon. An issue with David Bradford. Not sure what has happened with the 46. David Bradford listed as 1 lap down. I don't even show him on the racetrack. I don't show a crash or anything. Not sure if David has lost power or a computer crash or something to that effect. Either way, David Bradford has been so dominant in just about any car he sits in here this season, whether it's ARCA or Cup. Unfortunately appears to be out of this race already here, just about quarter distance, 24 laps in, about to start lap 25. David Bradford appears to be out of the event. Now we are quarter distance. Let's go through the field, see who's running where. Again, Cody Harger, our pole sitter, still in the top spot. Gave it up briefly at the initial start to Vincent Short. Vince had some issues, and Cody has taken it back and not looked back since. Got a 2-second advantage now. Mark Truxell has gotten by, or almost gotten by, the 86 of Colt Ansley as we talk about this. Truxell has looked strong since the outset. As he sits in the 3rd position, he's up from 10th where he started tonight's race. We'll swing forward here just a bit. Colt Ansley sitting in the 2nd position, started 5th, looking strong as per the usual with these ARCA cars. sitting in the second spot, trying to track down the leader. And even with this battle with the 5 of Mark Truxell, is seemingly still gaining some ground on Cody Harger. Very well could be a tire strategy on the 66's part, but either way, second and third awfully quick here at Chicagoland. Mark Truxell taking another look to the inside. Like Mark may have the position. Let's see if Colt takes the high side on exit, builds the momentum, but he's got him clear. Mark Truxell up to the second spot with a car length and a half advantage over the 86. Vincent Short started outside front row, as we talked about earlier. Did take over the top spot. I believe he did lead lap 1, 2, and then had an issue on lap 4. Not significant. Did scrape the wall. Little bit of an overdrive off corner exit. Saved the car. Did not spin out. Didn't bring out a yellow. Lost that lead and now runs in the 4th position. Still solidly in the top 5. Running in the 5th position. Relatively quiet night so far for Neil Quick. Not always a bad thing, though. We, again, are only just over quarter distance. Neil Quick running that WR1 Sim chassis paint scheme with Quick Esports. Looking strong in the top 5. Justin Napier out of Nashville, Tennessee. Yeah, Jeff is his dad. Again, runs for the Hateful Chicken here in the ARCA series. Probably one of my favorite paint schemes in the ARCA series. Having a good run, running 6th, right where he started. That's not a bad thing. Again, tire preservation, tire conservation, however you want to look at it, a very important thing to do at these 1.5 miles with these ARCA cars. Seems to be doing just that, running in the 6th position here at Chicagoland. Brian Rose down 4 positions, started in the 3rd spot. Brian with a 2 Blessings thrift store paint scheme on that number 89 Chevrolet. Still looking strong, running consistent, maybe overdoing the tire conservation at this point, but Justin Napier is in pit lane. Not sure if this is a scheduled stop for Justin Napier, the Hateful Chicken number 54, rolling down the pit lane right now. Seems a bit early, lap 30 of 100. I know they do have 5 sets of tires over the wall to play with. Not sure if this is the best strategy or if it's really just time for fuel already. I don't believe that's going to be the case, but he is in the pit lane, right sides on, through around, left side tires, 4 tires and fuel for Justin Napier's. Appears to be the routine stop for the 54. Getting back to our going through the field, the 71 of Alan DeFries running now in the 7th spot after the pit stop with Justin Napier. Alan running that number 71 Monster Energy livery we're so used to seeing. Carson Conway, the number 72 Country Designs Chevrolet Impala, running in the 8th spot. A solid top 10 for Carson. Again, still on the lead lap. Just running his race. Again, it's way early to be pushing the car too hard. Carson doing a great job keeping that car clean. Lap 32 of 100. And we have Cecil Rose in a copycat car. This is the exact same paint job that Brian Rose is running. This should be a number 88 machine, but looks like Cecil forgot to change up the paint. So far, lead lap run for Cecil Rose. Running in the 9th spot. Having a good day so far. Running 10th was Mr. Late Man himself, the number 40, running that Superior Class Auto Racing paint scheme. Still running in the 10th spot. So far, a good evening as well for Jeff Napier. Glad we waited for you, Jeff. You're having a good run. Keep it up. And then further back, again, we just talked about Justin Napier. Did make a green flag stop recently. 4 tires and fuel for the 54. Might be a strategy at play here for Justin Napier. Again, 5 sets of tires to everyone's use. No penalties for anyone tonight, so that is the allotment for every driver in the field. Got a little wiggle you see out of there with Justin Napier, but straightens it back out. That's your full field rundown. Again, David Bradford not included in that list. Not sure what happened to the 46. He is out of the session and out of the Discord chat. Not sure if he had a disconnection or a mechanical failure, but either way, David Bradford going to be credited with the last place points here at Chicagoland Speedway. We click off lap number 35. Cody Harger still stretching out his lead over the 5 of Mark Truxell. It's just over 2.1 seconds. Back to the 5 of Truxell. Meanwhile, Neil Quick is starting to put on the power. Quick is moved up to the 3rd position. Vincent Short 4th, Colt Ansley 5th. Again, we saw that battle between the 86 and the 5 laps ago. You kind of got to wonder who did the worst job at saving tires. And I got to say, though it looked like Colt was doing pretty good there, he may have burned him up more. As you see, Mark Truxell now battling with the 2 of Neil Quick, loses the 2nd spot, still maintains 3rd. But Colt was charging hard towards the front, running in that 2nd position early on, and now he's slipped back to 5th. But now we see this battle continue with Mark Truxell and Neil Quick for the 2nd spot. Down the back stretch into turn number 3. Neil Quick takes the high side. Mark Truxell takes the middle lane, trying to get the best of both worlds. A little bit shorter distance, but still using some of that high side momentum. But once again, we saw this earlier as well. These two do battle. Vincent Short now allowed to start catching up to these two. Also sniffing a little bit of a draft off these two cars. That certainly helps down the straightaways. And a very different line we see out of the 15 of Vincent Short compared to these two as well. While it all goes down, though, the 66 of Cody Harger continues to increase his lead. It is 2.45 seconds back to Mark Truxell in the 3rd spot, 2.1 seconds back to the 2 of Neil Quick in 2nd spot. Looking at some of the stream chat here in the Facebook side, it does look like they're getting some information that iRacing kicked Bradford off. I'm not really sure why that would have happened. David's definitely not known for making silly things to get booted from a race. I just can't imagine what happened there. We'll have to follow up on that later on. If I get an opportunity to do so, I will certainly do that and let everyone know. We've got 25 people here in the Facebook stream. That is a great number. We went from 10 to 25 in the blink of an eye. I'm not going to complain about that. So thank you everyone for chiming in here or even just viewing the stream, watching the race with us. If you haven't said hello in the stream chat and your account is older than 2 weeks old, say hello. Tell us where you're watching from, who you might be cheering for. Again, not a heavy field as far as car counts, but they usually put on a pretty good show. It's usually clean. Once in a while, we'll get a couple of guys that'll make some contact and get together, but solid, clean racing, typically the story here in this ARCA series. We run the Windy City 150. In this battle with Vince Short and Mark Truxell heating up, but also the 54 of Justin Napier with those fresh tires. Just plowing on through these guys. Justin's still running in the 10th spot. Going to try and make his way back up to the top here by himself. Never mind a caution. And everybody else is going to need to pit as well. This just puts Justin kind of off cycle. But if he can work it out to his advantage, it might work. He still has 4 sets of tires over pit wall. Now everybody else still has 5. Justin's the only car to leave the racing surface and get pit service. Nicky Short, of course, cheering on Vince, the number 15. Vince having a good night so far. Nicky, thanks for saying hi. Terry as well. Don Harger saying hi. Got Mr. Will Jones, driver the number 56, unable to be out there due to being on the disabled list. Be back sooner than we know it, to the behest of everyone in SCAR, because Will is certainly a challenge to beat out here. He's right on par with the Bobby Juniors, the David Bradfords, and the like. More pit stops underway here. Colt Ansley rolling down the pit lane. Got Veronica Dyer watching as well. Thanks for chiming in, Veronica. All right, so let's see what Colt does here. A little bit of a slide through the box. Right side tires. Yep, right side's in the air. Sunoco Racing Fuel going into the number 86 Fiverr Chevrolet. Crew around to the left. 4 tires and fuel for Colt Ansley. Jeff Napier is also down and away. A 15.3 second stop for the 40, but a 14.72 the pit stop for Colt Ansley. Nice and quick. 4 tires and fuel for everyone. Brian Rose as well down the pit lane. Make his first scheduled stop of the evening. Again, this isn't about lap 44, so unless they are short pitting, which at this point, I'm no strategist, I don't know why they would. It seems as though they're going to need to at least make one more stop before this one comes to its conclusion. Meanwhile, Neil Quick has taken over the top spot. Now that is interesting. This is happening live, folks. Lap 45, Neil Quick has made it by the 66 of Cody Harger. Neither one of these guys have made it to pit road, so Neil has done this all on his own. We saw Neil Quick, I said it earlier, not making a whole lot of noise here tonight, but maybe there was a reason for that. Save that car, save those tires to when you need to make a pass. And it seems like that is what he has done. I'm going to see if I can get a record of that pass happening. Let me do some scrolling around. Neil Quick passes Cody for P1. Let's take a look at the Hateful Chicken instant replay. That is definitely not it. Let's try this again. I'm going to back this up a little bit further because it doesn't give us any context on how Neil set up the pass, but it looks like off turn number 4, Neil was right there to the back bumper. Cody Harger gets the momentum, actually takes the low lane. Kind of counterintuitive what I thought he would have done, but gets side by side with Cody Harger. Cody up top, Neil Quick down low into turn number 1, clears the 66. Let's see if Cody can battle back on the high side. It doesn't look like it, so Neil Quick takes over the top spot by himself. No help, no pit stop. Already put a bit of a gap back to the 66 of Cody Harger. 3/4 second advantage Neil Quick does have here as we approach halfway. Veronica, don't worry. Bobby will be back eventually. He's just busy with real life stuff, and he's got the baseball thing going on, so unfortunately unable to make some of these races. He's going to try and get in when he can, but it is what it is. Life happens. Well, I wasn't being sweet, man. You're pretty good out there, even on the road course stuff. Neil Quick stretches the advantage over Cody Harger to a full second as we come to lap 50. This may seal the deal for these top running machines. Neil Quick, Cody Harger have yet to hit pit lane. We saw some guys going in about lap 44, which is all going to guarantee these guys are going to need to pit one more time. But Cody Harger, you see him, he is down pit lane right now, hitting the pit lane for his scheduled service. I'm not sure if Neil Quick is going to spit this next time by. This will be a one-stop race for the two if that is the case. Take a look here at Neil down the backstretch, going around Brian Rose into turn number 3. Let's watch for Neil to roll it into the pit lane. Maybe, maybe not. He's still at speed. He's going to stay on track and do it one more time. Cody Harger is in the pit stall. Right sides are on. Left sides up. Fuel going in. Cody Harger down and away. 14.93 second stop for the 66. Meanwhile, Neil Quick, again, down the back straightaway, looking into turn number 3. Let's see if he peels off the banking this time to make his first and potentially only stop of the afternoon if he plays his cards right. Nope, he is still on track. These are all tire-based stops, I have to imagine, because again, Neil Quick has yet to hit the pit lane. I'm sure he's been saving some fuel and definitely saving some tires. He was able to make that pass on Cody Harger on his own, but definitely at a point where he can go one stop on this whole race. Seen in the YouTube chat, I got a question about David Bradford. I don't have all the details on it right now. David was running strong, started about 10th, was running near the top 5, and then all of a sudden just disappeared out of the race. The reporting I'm getting on the Facebook side of things is for some reason he got booted from the session. I can only imagine that was either an accidental boot or an issue with iRacing. If I get an opportunity, if we get a yellow here, I will try and dive into that, but that's all I can tell you for now. AVILRC is what it says here on the YouTube side. Thanks for checking in and asking your question. Please always do so, Facebook or YouTube. I love when you guys interact. I'll get the answers if I can. But meanwhile, lap 53, Neil Quick is in the pit lane. on the pit lane in his pit stall. Right side's changed, crew around to the left. Again, 4 tires and fuel seems to be the play for everyone involved, especially if you're not going to stop anymore the rest of the evening. Looks like Neil Quick is going to roll out of the pit lane. Nice and clean stop for the number 2 machine. Not a very fast stop, 15.25 seconds. He's going to give up some time there, but if this goes green all the way to the finish, this could really play into Neil's hands. Hey, Phil RC, I'm a first-time viewer. This is awesome. I certainly appreciate you being a viewer. Again, we stream it every Monday and Tuesday, for the most part, with a couple of breaks on Facebook and YouTube. So either one, whatever is your preference. I monitor both stream chats, whether it's on the Facebook side or the YouTube side. Certainly appreciate everyone's involvement, even if it's a quick hello and nothing else. But appreciate the kind words. Meanwhile, Colt Ansley, the number 86 machine, after the cycle of pit stops, he is our new leader. Terry's going to be really happy about that one. Brian Rose is second. Cody Harger back to third. Neil Quick is fourth, even after that stop. Vincent Short rounds out your top 5. Man, where are all these people coming from? Not that I'm complaining, but we have 35 viewers on the Facebook stream. This is awesome. Past halfway, the Windy City 150. Colt Ansley continues to lead. A 4-second advantage back to Brian Rose, the number 89. Try and get you a better idea of that gap. Here's Colt right now. A couple of lap cars. And the 89 of Brian Rose. And then Cody Harger. Bit of a gap. Now it's all how you manage that gap. As Colt Ansley, you've got 4 seconds to play with. How much tire do you save? Can you save enough fuel? Hey, remember, Colt Ansley pit at lap 42. I don't know exactly what the pit window is, but it seemed like Neil Quick made his stop at lap 53, I think it was. That could be a full fuel run. I did not get a chance to hop in the car and find out for myself. And I'm a one-man show over here, at least for the ARCA series, so I do my best. Veronica Tire. Veronica, thanks. I really appreciate that. I'm modest. I don't think I'm the greatest by any means, but I certainly try hard, and I guess that's all you can ask for. And Colt Ansley out front, just under 4-second advantage on the 89 of Brian Rose. We said just a moment ago about it's how you manage that gap. Colt needs to kind of save some tires. Definitely going to need to save some fuel. At least that's kind of my mindset. Again, I don't know what that fuel window is. Did start the race on full tanks, so that is certainly a factor to look at. But it's going to be interesting when this comes down to the finish if we stay green all the way to the end. We know Neil Quick was able to go 53 laps before hitting the pit lane. We're not sure 100% if that was strategy or he was able to wait until the fuel ran out. If that's the case, he's going to run this to the finish on one set of tires. He's also going to have the newest feeling set of tires, essentially, by the end of this run or end of this race. Of course, there are guys that can make the opportunity to hit the pit lane themselves. Additionally, we saw Justin Napier, the number 54 Hateful Chicken Machine, peel off first and hit the pit lane. Meanwhile, we got a battle here with Brian Rose and Cody Harger for the second spot. Cody up top. They're going to have to run through the 40 of Jeff Napier to split this. Jeff down low, Cody up high. .40 laps to go here from Chicagoland Speedway. Cody Harger in the second spot has gotten around the 89 of Brian Rose. Up front, though, it is the 86, the Rick Motek Chevrolet. Colt Ansley, 3.3 seconds the advantage for the 86 over Cody Harger. Cody closing down that gap relatively quickly here. We talked about managing the gap. Is he saving too much, or is he saving just enough? Is he just going to wait for Cody to catch him? Colt's got some pretty good pace around this place. So does Cody, though. Cody's been strong since the outset. Started the car on the pole position. Got back by Vincent Short after a mistake. Lap 4 or 5 there it was. This could come down and have a pretty good finish here this afternoon or this evening at the Windy City 150. So if you are here watching, don't go anywhere. 39 laps to go. It's going to click off in a hurry. Gonna ride on board here with the 66 of Cody Harger. Cody out of Calhoun, Louisiana. Running in the SCAR series, whether it's ARCA or Cup or super late model. Even runs on the road course side of things with us on Sunday nights, every other Sunday night. Still actually in contention for the points. Does not bill himself as a road racer, but certainly gets by and does a pretty good job. And guess what? Keeps showing up, keeps getting better. A force to be reckoned with going forward. It's certainly going to translate to any kind of road racing he does in these stock cars going forward. Meanwhile, though, he's trying to track down the 86 of Colt Ansley. He's doing it in a hurry. He's cut another second into that deficit since taking over the second position. Won't be long at this pace for the 66 and the 86 come together here and do battle for the top spot. Colt off turn number 2 down the back stretch, trying to get by the 72 of Carson Conway. This is going to be a lap car. Carson right now, the last car on the lead lap, lap 64 of 100. Carson would love a yellow flag right about now to get things squared back up. Unfortunately, does not look like he's going to get it. Carson doing all he can on the bottom here, but the quick machine, the 86 of Colt Ansley into turn number 1 to the high side. Probably going to get this position, or at least put Carson Conway a lap down off turn number 2. He will do so down the backstretch now. Carson Conway, the first car a lap down, would make him eligible for the lucky dog position if the yellow were to come out. Carson's just going to keep on trucking. But next in the crosshairs for the 86 is Justin Napier in the 54. There goes Justin into turn number 1. We see that white little speck of Colt Ansley on the apron. That is the distance back to the leader. Justin needs to manage that gap to stay on the lead lap here at lap 66. As we said, it wouldn't be long before the 66 caught the backside of Colt Ansley. It's lap 67. It's about 2 to 3 car lengths. The advantage for Colt Ansley, but not for long. Cody Harger is tracking him down in a hurry. Cody has 7 laps newer tires than Colt Ansley right here. Cody tracking down the 86. He's there. 1 car length, the deficit, looking down low into turn number 3. Did I call him Kevin? Anyway, Cody Harger down low off turn number 4. Looks like he's going to take over the position. New leader at the line. It is the 66 of Cody Harger to the top spot. They work into turn number 1. Crossover move by Colt Ansley. We all saw that coming. Colt is not one to give up easily, even on older tires. Off of turn number 2, down the backstretch once again. Cody Harger, though, putting more of an advantage over the 86 of Colt Ansley. It's 0.3 of a second. I'll show you what it looks like here. It's about 5 car lengths back to the 86 in the second spot. Again, tires coming into play here. Cody Harger, pit lap number 49. Colt Ansley's pit lap, lap 42. Neil Quick, remember him? He pit on lap 52. He's back up to the 3rd position, 1.4 seconds back from Cody Harger. So we're going to see the same thing come into play here with the 2 of Neil Quick catching these front 2 drivers in not very many laps at all. And there he goes. Neil Quick already around. Well, Colt Ansley's actually headed to the pit lane here. Colt, lap 70. This could likely be the last stop of the day for the 86. Varying strategies across the board for all of these drivers. Colt's in the pit lane. I can imagine he's going to take 4 tires and fuel again. Yep, right sides go up. Let's see if they go back around to the lefts. Yep, 4 tires and fuel for Colt Ansley. Back out front, though, Cody Harger still your leader. Neil Quick not too far in behind, but again, it's going to come down to tires, I think. 3-lap newer tires for Neil Quick. That's not a huge amount, but remember, at the end of that first run, before Cody lost the lead, this was under green flag conditions when Neil Quick was able to go by him. That was under the same tire circumstances. That's the tires that everybody started on, that Neil was able to track down the 66 and make that pass. So 3 laps newer doesn't seem like much, but on equal ground, the two was able to close the gap and make the pass. We'll have to see how he plays this out, though, because Cody may make the decision to have a pit stop here late, and that's really going to change the closing rates between these two drivers. We'll have to see what strategy is played here later on with 29 laps to go. Cody Harger still out front, but out the back window. Looking back to Neil Quick, the deficit is less than 1 second here at lap 73. What will they do? Stay on track? I know Neil Quick certainly has the fuel to do it, as he went 53 laps on a tank of fuel and a set of tires early on. Just curious to see how far the 66 will be able to push it. Again, he pitted lap 49, so that is just 1 shy of the halfway point. Three-quarter distance here in the Windy City 150. Let's go through the field one more time before this one's in the books. Cody Harger started on the pole position, has really not varied much far from that all evening long, is back up on the point after recently passing for the lead. Cole Ansley hitting the pit lane as well. Cody Harger en route possibly to another victory here in the ARCA series with 25 laps to go. But Neil Quick, oh, Cody Harger in the fence just a bit, scrapes the safer barrier on corner entry. Go back and take a look at that again. Doesn't appear to have affected the 66 too terribly. But as we were saying, Neil Quick closing the gap on the 66 of Cody Harger. It's kind of how it went the last time we did the through the field. The deficit only 0.3 of a second back to the 2 of Neil Quick. Brian Rose, the number 89 machine, runs in the 3rd spot. Colt Ansley in the 5th position going around here. Colt, though, is still in the 5th spot as he's a lap down to most of these cars right now. Again, that may cycle through before the race finishes out. But Brian having a good race, running 3rd, started 3rd, just running a smooth and clean race as by design. Looking sharp out there, the Two Blessings thrift store, number 89 machine. In the 4th spot, it is the 71 of Alan DeFries. He's up 3 spots from the drop of the green flag, solidly in the top 5. Allen is running 4th, looking for a strong finish. Pitted lap 50 as well. He may be good to go to the end if he so chooses the same fate. Colt Ansley, we just spoke about, running in the 5th position. Now 4th position, I'm sorry. Nope, that is 5th. I just can't read. Decided to hit the pit lane for regular service. It's certainly going to be better pace out of the 86, but meanwhile up front we do have a battle for the lead. Looks like Neil Quick has gotten around the 66 of Harger. Again, long run car, long run strategy for the 2 of Neil Quick. We're going to stay with this battle. We're not going to go through the rest of the field as we really got our lead lap cars, and that was about it. We'll go back and get a look at how Neil set this pass up again, but before we switch to that, I want to see if Cody Harger can make this move back by the 2. He's certainly trying his darndest to do it. A car length advantage for Neil Quick into turn number 3. We've got 22 laps to go. Neil Quick starting to slowly put a little bit of a gap to the 66. It's now 2 car lengths, maybe 2.5 as they cross the line. Neil Quick was a little bit faster that time by. All right, so let's go back to it here. Watch the pass for the lead. This is with Neil Quick and Cody Harger down the back straight into turn 3. Had the momentum off turn 2, drops the 2 down low to the low groove. Really just a textbook pass, nice and clean, no shenanigans. Cody battled back at the line, but unable to take back that top spot. But right now, it looks like we do have 4 cars on the lead lap. We've been clean and green since the drop of the initial green flag. We've got 20 laps to go. That's why everybody is so spread out. Cole Ansley is one of the faster cars out here on the Speedway, not just because of the new tires, but even in general, was contending for the lead early on. He's trying to work some strategy to his advantage. He pit at lap 69, so relatively recent. With 19 laps to go, he is the fastest car on the racetrack, but he's got a whole lap to make up to contend for a victory here. Bolt running right behind the leader, Neil Quick. He's going to make short work and get himself back on the lead lap. It's going to be a challenge. Less than 19 laps to go. Lap times are not all that different. Neil Quick's last lap at 32.66. Colt Ansley's a 31.72. Do the math. Even if it's at a second a lap faster, he just doesn't have enough time to get back to the front, at least without a caution, which would change everything for everyone, as they all still have tires to use over the pit wall if they so choose. That really becomes the question of the day. If we do get a yellow and it is Neil Quick the leader, does he stay out or does he pit? Only 12 cars in the field, so it's a real tough decision. If we got a full field of cars and you stay out, everybody behind you is going to come down pit road and take on those fresh tires. I'll have to see what happens. Again, we got to have a caution first, and we're not there yet. 17 to go, though, for Neil Quick. Ryan Rose still hanging on tight there in the 3rd spot. Mark Truxell in the 6th position. Everything's a little backwards. Again, Mark running position 6 in front of the 3rd place machine of Brian Rose. Terry Ansley, they all need a caution. A caution would not be terrible, but at the same token, I'm really kind of looking forward to see how the strategies play out for these guys. I kind of think that the top 4 at a minimum are not going to hit the pit lane at all if we stay green to the end, so it's going to really come down to those guys. Time will tell. Neil Quick crosses the line, 15 to go. Big deficit already now. Cody Harger has slipped to 2.5 seconds in the rears of the 2 of Neil Quick. And only 3 laps the difference between the 66 and the 2. Neil Quick hit the pit lane at 52. Cody Harger lap 49, but doesn't take a ton, obviously, at least at this point. Hindsight, it's real easy to make that call, but kind of got to know going in. It all depends on how much practice laps that you put into this race going into the event. You can kind of figure those things out, look at tire fall off, how many laps can you go on a tank of fuel. It's all stuff that these guys play with and work into their strategies before they get into the actual race itself. Really, the closest battle on the track right now isn't really much of a battle. Again, the 5 is running in the 6th position. That's Mark Truxell. The 89 is running in the 3rd position. That's Brian Rose. Really no incentive for the 89 to work his way around the 5. You do ride on board with Brian Rose. Definitely a few drivers short here tonight. That is certainly not the norm. Missing Bobby Hamilton Jr., Thomas McMullen. David Bradford had an early exit. Will Hewitt unable to make it tonight either. So essentially we've got 4 drivers just based on David Bradford's issue. I did find out a little more detail on the 46. He was not disqualified for any reason. I guess he had a packet loss issue, lost connection to the sim. Unfortunately, it is the second time this has happened with David in relative recent history. Sometimes the only way to beat the 46 is to get him with the bad luck. But that's what happened. Nothing fancy. He didn't get booted, didn't get disqualified. Just, we do this simulation on the computer. We do it over the internet. Not 100% reliable, but neither are real race cars, so these things happen. Meanwhile, with 10 laps to go. Did I say 10? I meant 9. Neil Quick still out front. 3.5 seconds the advantage to the 66 of Cody Harger. Brian Rose back 9.5 seconds. Alan DeFries 21 seconds. Colt Ansley at risk for going another lap down as you do see him off in the distance. Off turn 4, Neil Quick with 8 laps to go. I'm no master strategist, but it looks like Neil may have this one wrapped up unless we get a late caution. Justin Napier has moved his way up back into the 8th position, was running 10th laps ago. Worked his way by Cecil Rose and Jeff Napier. And taking a look here at the 54 of Justin Napier, the Hateful Chicken entry. Looking sharp out there at Chicagoland Speedway. Running top 10 in the 8th position. Down a couple spots from where he started. Maybe got bit by some strategy here as he might be trying to take this position from the 72 of Carson Conway. He does move Napier up to the 7th spot. Justin Pitt at lap 74, so he has the freshest tires on the racetrack. He's going to fight his way back towards the backside of the 5 of Mark Truxell. 9 seconds the deficit back to the 54. Not sure if Justin's going to have the pace to catch Mark Truxell here with less than 6 laps to go. Neil Quick extending that lead over second place Cody Harger. 5.1 seconds. Less than 5 laps to go as Quick goes down the back stretch one more time into turn number 3. Neil Quick catching the, says it's the 89, but that is actually the 88 of Cecil Rose. Gonna put Cecil 2 laps down. Neil Quick crosses the line. 2 laps to go for the number 2. Neil Quick in the WR1 Sim chassis machine. Pretty much locked this thing into cruise control to get it home to a checkered flag. A lap and a half to go into turn number 3. John Harger, you're probably right. Might be saving some fuel. Again, I don't know what the fuel window was, so that is my issue. But either way, it's white flag for the 2 of Neil Quick. One more time around in the Windy City 150 will belong to Neil Quick in through turns 1 and 2. Neil Quick down the backstretch into turn number 3 for the final time. Had a plan from the get-go, worked the strategy to his advantage, made this a one-stop race. Off corner number 4 for the final time. It is Neil Quick taking the victory. The Windy City 150 Superior Class Auto Racing ARCA Series is in the books. Second place is Cody Harger, slow across the line, maybe out of fuel. Brian Rose still in the gas, finishes 3rd. Alan DeFries off corner number 4, looking for the 4th spot. And a top 5 for the 86 of Colt Ansley. Pretty precise celebratory donuts here on the front straightaway. Neil Quick is your winner. Here at Chicagoland Speedway, the Windy City 150 is in the books. We're going to step aside for a short break. We'll return with our top 3 after a word from the Hateful Chicken. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Joliet, Illinois, the Superior Class Auto Racing ARCA Series. Windy City 150 is in the books. Neil Quick victorious. Cody Harger second, Brian Rose third. Let's go to our winner and get a word with Neil Quick. Neil, it's Steve in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, Steve.
You ready for us, or should we come back?
No, I'm good, man. Let's go ahead.
Well, Neil, tell us about the strategy you played here. You were relatively quiet to just about everybody else early on in the race, and slowly but surely worked your way towards the front, and all of a sudden caught and passed the 66, made this a one-stop race. Tell us how you did it.
Just ran a practice race last night, and I was really running good lap times on the bottom in the practice race, and I got educated a little bit last night in practice and understood just to conserve and start out slow and just see to have something there at the end, and that's basically all I did. I was just riding and just picking guys off slowly as their tires wore down, and I stayed with that whole approach all night.
It's always a challenge to conserve. Do you conserve a little? Do you conserve a lot? Did you make a mistake and conserve too much? It seems like, well, the porridge was just right here tonight for Neil Quick. Was there any thought of a 2-stop race here at all, or was it one stop from the get-go as long as we didn't have any yellows?
I was trying to do one stop. I was wanting to get to that lap 50 mark, and once we got there and I got around Cody, got out front, he pitted. I really didn't have much choice to just run another lap or so, because if I would have kept going, I would have lost too much time, and I think it could have been too big a deficit to catch him.
Well, 3 laps was the difference between yourself and Cody Harger as far as the tire strategy was concerned. It seemed on equal footing. You had the pace late in the run, so nice job saving tires. Congratulations on the victory, Neil. Before we let you get out of here, anybody you got to thank?
Yeah, all the guys I raced with tonight, great group of guys, and the sponsors that helped me do this, of course, R&R, WR1, 5-Star Graphics, Chris Wally, and definitely you guys, the broadcast and the sponsors for the league. Appreciate it. You guys do a great job, and look forward to racing every time we get a chance.
That's Neil Quick, your winner here at Joliet, Illinois, Chicagoland Speedway, the Windy City 150. Thanks for talking to us, Neil. Good luck tomorrow in the Cup race to Texas. Yeah,
that'll be a fun one. See you guys then.
Next, we'll go to Cody Harger, second place, the runner-up. Cody Harger, it's Steve in the HBR TV booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir, man. How you doing?
Not too bad. Probably a little better than you. I know second place isn't too shabby, but I'm sure you wanted that win. You put it on the pole position here this evening, and Neil Quick just kind of reeled you in. What did you do differently from the two that you might have changed your mind on that could have put you in victory lane here tonight?
Definitely think I shouldn't have been fighting Vince so hard there that first 10 laps. Hindsight's 2020 on that deal, but I'll really go back, and I wasn't prepared. I didn't know how many laps we could go on fuel. I hopped in the session late and got just a few practice laps. I didn't realize we could go 50 laps on fuel. If I'd have known that, I'd have probably done a little bit more conserving early. So I mean, I raced Vince there for 7-8 laps, and then once I got clear of him a little bit, I just saw we got to be getting close to a pit stop and pull up my fuel, and I still had like 45 laps of fuel left. So I was like, oh, okay, well, that reared its ugly head there right before I pitted. And then, you know, Neil was just so fast up top, and I tried to mimic that line, and I just could never get comfortable. He was putting it closer to the wall than I was more comfortable doing, and he just was better. I mean, it's, you know, maybe if I don't push so hard and I could save a little bit of time, and, you know, maybe I'd somehow put enough time in between us that he couldn't have caught me late. But I don't know, man. He was so fast. I mean, once he got around me, he put 5-6 seconds on me pretty damn quick. So I think just Neil was better tonight, and there really wasn't much I was going to do no matter what I did.
Well, practice certainly makes perfect. We did kind of ask Neil how he decided on the strategy for tonight, and he did run a practice race last night to get ready for tonight's event. So, yeah, I guess being prepared for class certainly helps, but unprepared, you still finish second. I'd say it's still not a too shabby of an evening for you. So congratulations, Cody. I noticed we got a different paint scheme on the car tonight, but I want to ask, is there anybody you need to thank before we let you go?
Oh, man. Forgot about changing that. Okay, well, sorry, Plasmine, that you weren't on the car tonight, but we'll make sure we rectify that for the next race. And shout out to Hateful Chicken for being the main sponsor of SCAR and as a whole. And thank you, Steve, HBR TV, for putting this on for us.
Not a problem, Cody. Again, congratulations on the second spot. You weren't the only one with paint issues. Cecil Rose was running the same paint as Brian Rose, so that could be fun. But either way, man, nice run. Congratulations, and good luck tomorrow at Texas.
Yeah, that whole Cecil Rose thing had me confused for a few laps before I finally figured it out. So, but yeah, I was having double vision there for a little bit. So I thought I had a pretty good pit stop, but I was starting to wonder when I thought I had lapped the car, but then I was behind it. Yeah. So
we'll get it rectified.
We'll get that straight. That's right. Y'all be good. Thank you, bud.
Thanks, Cody. Let's Cody Harger, your second place finisher. Let's go to, will the real Brian Rose please stand up?
Here he is, Steve.
Brian Rose, third place finish, not too shabby. I want to say that it was great to watch you tonight, but you started third, you finished third. You really didn't make any noise. You didn't really put it in the wall. It was kind of an uneventful evening, but a decent top 3 finish for the number 89. Tell us about it.
Yeah, slow and steady wins the race. I knew it was going to be a long run. These guys, they don't make too many mistakes out there. On a track like this, I kind of expected it to go green the whole way. So I just wanted to lay back and kind of save my time just in case there was something going on. A couple guys started making pit stops a little sooner than I wanted to, so that kind of forced my hand. Actually pitted a little too early, and then halfway through that second run, I realized I needed to start saving fuel, so I had to let some time go away from me.
Well, looking at really the top 4, I think anybody that pit before lap 50 pit too early. We didn't realize that Neil Quick was going to be able to make this a one-stop race with 5 sets of tires over the wall. Who'd have thunk it? But you're right, long green flag runs, no yellows here tonight. Things got done in a hurry, and either way, you still brought it home P3. It's not too shabby. Didn't work out how you wanted, I'm sure, but I guess you'll take it, right?
Absolutely. I mean, I hated it for David and Vince. They were super fast tonight. David, iRacing kicked him out, and Vince, he had a fuel line issue or something. And but anyway, we got 3 HBR guys up in the top 10 tonight. Big shout out to Eddie and the 88 car, keeping it clean tonight in his SCAR debut. 2 laps down, but still P9. And then we got us a podium tonight in the Two Blessings Thrift Shop car. So thank you to HBR TV, the Hateful Chicken, Country Designs, everybody who helps us out. We appreciate it, and we really like putting on a show for everybody.
Now, Two Blessings Thrift Shop got double the exposure tonight with being your paint scheme and Cecil, so we'll probably get that rectified in the future. But either way,
yeah, that's why he usually runs during the officials and stuff when he gets out there, and right. He just wasn't aware that he couldn't change his paint once he got into this session. So anyway, hey, that's more exposure for them. So hey, we'll take it.
Not a big deal. We figured it out here with the live timing, so it's just added benefit for the sponsor. But Brian, again, thanks for chatting with us. Good luck tomorrow at Texas.
All right, thank you, Steve.
That was the 89 driver, Brian Rose, finishing in the 3rd spot here tonight in the Windy City 150. That is going to wrap it up for our top 3 interviews. Again, let's go through the finishing order. Only 12 cars in the field tonight. Again, not a big deal. We were missing some really names that were very familiar. Of course, Bobby Jr., Thomas McMullen, and Will Hewitt unable to make it with us tonight. But this is the finishing results. Neil Quick in the 2 is your winner. The 66 of Cody Harger brings it home second. Brian Rose, the number 89, finishes in the 3rd spot. 4th was the 71 of Alan DeFries. 5th was the 86 of Colt Ansley. Colt had a strong going early on in the race. Just kind of got mired back, I think, with some pit strategy. Finishes still a top 5 for Colt Ansley. Mark Truxell, another strong run, was up in the 2nd spot for a time as well. Mark finishes in the 6th position in that number 5. Justin Napier, the number 54 machine, he finishes in the 7th spot with Carson Conway. Decent run. The number 72 finishes in the 8th position. Cecil Rose, Eddie Rose, we call him, is the 88 machine that was out there running the 89 paint scheme. But again, we'll get that straightened out going forward. He finishes a top 10 for Cecil. 10th position was Jeff Napier. We waited on Jeff to get here. A good run, good solid run for the 40. Didn't get all the laps in, but either way, a top 10 for Jeff Napier. And again, Vincent Short, David Bradford, 11th and 12th on the field. Vincent having some sort of issue with fuel delivery, and David Bradford, unfortunately, the iRacing Gremlins got the 46 tonight, was kicked from the session, likely a packet loss issue. Again, connection problems, not so much related to a disqualification, just tough luck, fortunately, for the Holler Boys Racing driver, number 46. Again, we talked about tomorrow at Texas. Same time, same bat channel, 8:45 in the East. Actually, correction, tomorrow we're going to be a little bit later as we are going west to Texas Motor Speedway, 9 p.m. It is the Texas 250 from Texas Motor Speedway. Please join us. This is round 3 of the SCAR Cup Series playoffs, so be sure to be there for that. And once again, thank you to the Hateful Chicken, primary sponsor of this entire league. Hang out or carry out the Hateful Chicken, 164 South Main Street, Suite 300, Ashland City, Tennessee. Give them a call, 615-246-15 6-3. And that's going to do it. It was a good race. And, my opinion, some guys might not like it because, there was no cautions, there was no wrecks, it was a boring race. Well, you got to start to learn a little bit more about racing. Not always about the wrecks. Yeah, they're cool. I get it. I like them too. But look at the strategy side of things. Try to figure things out. That's why some guys like football so much, because there's so much strategy at play. Figure out who's doing this, who's pitting when. There's a lot at stake. There's a lot going on. You had multiple drivers on multiple different pit strategies. It makes for, it's really entertaining, to be honest, because you and your brain have to try and figure out, if this thing goes green to the end, who's going to be in position to win? Because at the time, with 50 laps to go, you might not have any idea. Or maybe you're kind of an old pro and you do know. And you can say, that was a good move by Neil Quick. It's going to be a one-stop race for him. If this goes green all the way, he's looking pretty. And that was kind of the case here tonight at Chicagoland Speedway. Cody Harger just unable to match the pace. Kind of jinxed himself a bit on the pit strategy, but still a good run for Cody. But that's it. We're going to wrap it up. Thanks for joining us. Again, follow us at facebook.com/HollerBoysRacingTV. Find us on YouTube at HollerBoysRacingTV. Please like, share, subscribe, follow, and don't forget, every time we are on air, chat us up in the stream chat. I know I don't always get to everybody, but I love having you guys interact. Love having you guys ask questions if you don't understand. I may not have all your answers, but I'll certainly do my best to get them. So once again, thanks for watching. Have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow, 9 p.m. in the East, HBR TV, NASCAR Cup Series.